Update: 7 months ago I was sucker punched by my wife's affair partner in a bar. Original post: 7 months ago I discovered my wife was having an affair. I am now ready to leave and I owe this Reddit a great deal of thanks. Reading through the posts here helped me navigate these past few months. This is not new to me. I have worked through many of the emotions, so if I come off as not caring or just posting the facts, it's because of that. Believe me when I say I have been through an emotional ringer these past months. I just want to get the facts out and ask for some opinions. Sorry it's so long. 7 months ago I was sucker punched by my wife's affair partner in a bar. My wife, her brother and his wife, and my wife's best friend and her husband decided to grab drinks after attending a concert. I don't drink, so I became the designated driver as usual. At one point the ladies went to the restroom and 2 came back, but my wife did not. Her best friend stated she was having some stomach trouble and would be along shortly. After a few minutes, I needed to go myself, so I went to the restroom. As I made my way through the crowd, I spotted my wife standing and talking to a man. He had his hand on her hip and she had hers on his shoulder. It struck me as a very intimate pose. She noticed me immediately and disengaged with the man as I reached them. She grabbed my arm to pull me back toward our table as I asked who he was. The guy replied, "None of your business," and at the same time my wife pulled me again. As I turned to her to ask again who this was, the guy punched me on the side of the head. I stayed on my feet, but I immediately felt myself going back. He had tackled me and slammed me against the wall hard enough to where I blanked out. I could hear, but I could not see or make sense of what was going on. He apparently punched me at least twice before my brother-in-law tackled him and proceeded to beat him senseless. This was relayed to me later. My next coherent thought was in an ambulance. The affair partner was taken to the emergency room and later arrested. My brother-in-law was arrested but charges dropped, and I stayed in the emergency room overnight and into the next day to rule out any side effects of a concussion. I was interviewed by the police eventually and they seemed surprised that I did not know the man that attacked me. They said my wife told them it was a misunderstanding and that the guy was someone she worked with and got handsy, and everyone just overreacted. A day or two later my brother-in-law, who had been very cold toward my wife since that night, came by and sat down and explained he needed to tell me something. Apparently while I was knocked loopy the guy kept telling everyone he had been effing my wife for months. Obviously, I was completely stunned at this. He told me he didn't have proof, but he believed the guy was telling the truth. He struggled with telling me, so he did some research on how the best way to handle this was, and he realized that it was the right thing to do to tell me. He used Reddit as part of his research and recommended I join and read some of the posts about infidelity and make a decision on how to handle this. That's when I joined Reddit and this account was born. It didn't take long to realize that I needed to get my emotions under control and start looking for facts. Apparently gaslighting and rewriting history is common, and I am 100% sure my wife would do this. So I cried, yelled, punched, etc. I got it out of my system as much as I could. That night when she came home I could barely contain myself, but every day it got a little easier. 2 days later I was able to get a hold of her phone and did a quick search, and there it was. Pictures, texts, videos, etc. all of it. She didn't even try to hide it. She's not tech savvy, but then again she knew I never checked her phone. Over the next few days I was able to copy the texts between them and the pictures and videos. Eventually I checked other texts and realized her best friend was helping her hide it and was encouraging it. The best friend actually confessed to having her own affair a few years ago. I exported those texts. My brother-in-law and I made the mutual decision to exclude him from any further information the day he told me, but I did reach out to my sister. She and her husband have rental property, and they promised to give me a heads up when they had a home open up so I could have a place to stay. That took almost 6 months, but I now have a home I can rent and I am able to finally leave. It's been horrible these past few months acting like I care about our marriage and trying to love a person I have been married to for 32 years and together for 35 years. Yes, we have had sex during this time. Not often. It has not been gentle, I am ashamed to say, nor has it been to satisfy her in any way. It's basically been very impersonal, a means to an end. I have to act like I did not see the videos and pictures she made with him and for him. Or read the I love yous in their texts. Or when he texted her 3 days after hitting me and bragged about taking me down so quickly, and her replying with a smiley face emoji. The pain that level of betrayal brings is beyond bearing at times. With that, I am now ready to leave. I have divorce papers in hand. I have an envelope full of copies of the texts, pictures, and stills from the videos. I know who he is and where he lives. I know who his wife is and where she works. I even know his children's names and where they go to school. I am torn about disrupting their lives, but I am most definitely going to send a copy of everything to his wife. I am struggling with confrontation or ghosting. I understand the dangers of confronting her and how she can play it into a situation where I could get arrested, but I truly want to see her face when I show her everything I know. Maybe it's having to stay quiet for all these months, but I really want that view of shock and possibly shame when I tell her. But I can also see the benefit of just leaving it on the counter and walking away. This may be silly to ask everyone, but until now I have had a clear goal to gather and prepare to leave, but now I have a choice and would like some opinions. Some quick info about us: finances are separate with a joint checking/savings. I have a larger retirement, but she has a pretty well-funded one herself. We sold our family home 2 years ago and bought a small empty nester's home. Paid cash and invested the rest in retirement. I am male, 58, and she is female, 57. We both have taken good care of ourselves physically, and she is every bit a beautiful woman. The affair partner is 35. We have 3 children, 31, male, 28, female, and 25, female. The oldest is married and the other 2 are living on their own with solid careers and stable relationships. If I ghost her, I will need to contact them and talk to them so they do not worry. I plan to either confront this week or ghost next weekend while she and her best friend have a shopping trip to a major city 2 hours away planned. Reading the top comments before the next updates. Wow, sounds like your brother-in-law is a real stand-up guy, in more ways than one, lol. Hope you can get back to normalcy, not with the ex-wife, though. Brother-in-law and the entire family have been great, the entirety of my family. People don't understand when I say my wife is a good mother. But she is, and so are her parents and brother. Not to take away from the horrible decisions she has made recently, but she has been a great partner as far as I know until this. I might find out otherwise. Number 1, tell the best friend's husband what's been happening. Supporting a cheater, I would like to know. Find out recording rules for your state. Cover your butt. When you tell your wife, have someone drop the package off at her affair partner's wife's residence. Yeah, I am keeping the best friend's documents out of the ones I'm giving my wife. I have every intention of going scorched earth on all 3. No, have the package sent to her work, where he cannot intercept it. Do not tell your wife you are sending anything to his wife. He will be furious when his personal life blows up. The funnest thing I did when I dumped my cheater was leave his calls without any responding. He left messages, called my sister, showed up at my house, and showed up at my work, borrowed a car to follow me to a new job. And I just did not respond. It drove him nuts. Today it is even more fun. You can turn off receipts, or leave them on. But do not answer her. It will make her nuts. It made him crazy. And he escalated over and over, more and more. She wants the drama. Ghost her, and it will drive her nuts. Seconding this. She is feeding off of the attention right now, even the negative one. The smiley face confirms it. OP is going to show her that he still cares about her reactions, which in her brain is shortened to caring about her. I can't imagine being the wife who finds out her 35-year-old husband has betrayed her for a 57-year-old trash bag. Just can't imagine. First update. Wow. This really has been overwhelming in less than 24 hours. I've had a lot of questions and a lot of great opinions. I'll try to answer some of the common questions. She has shown only a slight concern early on after the assault that I might suspect something. Last I looked at her phone was over a month ago, and she was completely back into the affair with no mention of me knowing. They stopped meeting up for about 3 weeks after the assault, but continued sexting and sending videos. She did express a need to stop before she lost her family, but as of last month they were still meeting up and having sex. He was arrested and did a plea deal for simple assault. Spent Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday in jail until he was released on bail. Got community service and paid some court fines. Wife explained away the guy's claims by saying he had a crush on her and was just drunk. I plan on telling the other betrayed spouse, the best friend's husband, and notifying HR at their work. I have a plan for them. I'll tell our kids. She is a good mother. I'm not sure of the circumstances that have resulted in her making the choices, but she is still their mother and not once has she been neglectful to them or their needs. Again, thank you all for your advice, and many of you have made some really good arguments for both ghosting and confrontation. Plus I appreciate the precautions you have suggested in case I confront her. Added to add. I have taken an STD test since the last time we had sex, which has been a while. Clean. My lawyer has paperwork completed and we have a proposal that is fair, and the lawyer doesn't care how she is served just as long as there are police involved or abuse. Alimony is a thing, but due to my situation and the fallout from my exposure there are backup plans in our proposed divorce settlement. I'll leave it alone for now. But suffice to say, there will probably be a cost but not something I'm worried about. Again, since I have plans to contact all that have been affected, I'm sure there will be a certain financial cost, especially if she loses her job. I'm not worried about anyone else. Can't get sued for exposing facts. I'm not interested in suing anyone even if I could, not sure. The energy I'm expending right now and have over the past few months is not worth it to me to get some nominal court ruling. I have pretty much concluded that ghosting is the right thing. I have read how others have done it on here, and I will probably utilize some of their tactics. I have a plan to get one more look at her phone later this week. I have not looked at it for some time, but an opportunity has come up that all but ensures I can look and have a very, very low risk of getting caught. I don't want to get this far and screw it up now. She has been more present lately. I really haven't noticed it until this morning. Not sure what is going on with that. And what I mean is she's back to asking about my day, going out of her way to kiss me bye and hello. After reflecting a little, this seems to have started about a week ago, so something has shifted, I think. That's another reason why I want to look at her phone again. Not that it will change anything, but this will be the final time I have an unfiltered view of what has been going on. Once I ghost her, I won't be able to gather any more information. Finally, I don't plan on going into gory details with my children. I will tell them, but honestly the conversation will just happen naturally. I cannot in any way plan out that conversation. Thanks again everyone for your help and support. I'll probably go quiet until afterwards at this point. I'm already worried about giving too much info out. Second update. I checked her phone for one last time and learned that she has apparently ended the affair. This appears, based on dates, to have happened just 2 days after my last peek at her phone. Obviously, I can only go by what I see, so I'll accept that she did end it. The real evidence came in her best friend messages. She confirmed with her best friend and stated that she had been trying to end it since the incident in the bar, that she claims snapped her back to reality. Still took her almost 5 months, so go figure. She even addressed the smiley face reply by saying she was too scared to say anything against him because it looked like everything was blowing up and she didn't know what he was capable of doing. Again, took 5 months to end it. Her best friend stayed true to her trashy character. My wife almost confessed twice in the past month, but best friend talked her out of it. One of these I actually remember based on what she told her friend. She had come home for lunch a week ago this past Monday. Not unheard of but rare, and it had not happened in the last year. Her eyes appeared swollen like she had been crying. She was going to tell me that day but chickened out. Oh, and the best friend gave me enough clues to figure out her affair partner. While trying to talk my wife out of telling me, she said, best friend's husband would have kicked me out and left me broke 2 years ago if he knew I f***ed our neighbor. Not to mention how upset best friend's daughter would have been. Best friend's daughter was a senior in high school 2 years ago. Their neighbor across the street was, and is, a math teacher at her high school. He and his wife are known to us obviously, as he has been a teacher for over 10 years at the same school. So, yeah. Another family blown up by infidelity. Nothing has changed. I have decided ghosting is probably the best route. I have my plan ready but I'll save that. I think I need to keep these as actual updates and not talk about future plans or ideas. I don't know when I'll update because the plan I have will be a kind of 1-2 punch, and I expect a lot to happen quickly and then things settle down. Then I have a third punch, so to speak. And again, I'm getting a lot of legal advice. I appreciate your concern, but I have a lawyer that I am happy with and who has given me plenty of legal advice. No offense, but since I'm paying her for legal advice, it's her legal advice I'll follow. Divorce in my state is pretty straightforward and not very hard. Very short waiting period if uncontested. I'm aware of the ramifications of what I'm planning. Thanks everyone for your support and advice. Those that have reached out in private, thank you. Some I have had discussions with, others I have not. Please don't take offense, just too many to engage with. Again, thank you. Reading the top comments before the next update. Hi OP, I'm glad you're sticking with the plan, and yes, ghosting is the best way to get away from any nonsense talk like reconciliation or blame shifting that you abused her or neglected her. As far as I understood you, You're going to inform affair partner's wife about her so-called loving husband and his adventures with your wife. But may I ask, are you also informing her best friend's husband? If I was you, I definitely would go for that as well. I'm going to just say that no one is going to be left in the dark. What they do with the info is their business, but that decision will be an informed decision by them. Seems convenient that she suddenly wants to end it when you found out. I would be concerned she knows you know. This is a person that watched you get assaulted and still stayed with the person who did that. It's monstrous. I would let the whole world know of her and her best friend's treachery. I would also never speak to her again. Yeah, I'm not interested in the reasoning. The cheating was a hard boundary, and none of what I found out will change anything. At your last post I advised you to ghost your wife and keep a knockout spray with you in case her lover sees you. That she broke up with him changes things a bit. I know that she betrayed you and all, but this is about your conscience. Can you rule out that when her lover's life blows up, he will not blame your wife for everything and let his anger out on her? He already showed how quick he is to punch someone when in a good mood. I don't even want to imagine what he is capable of when he is pissed. If there is a way that you can set it up, then try to take care that your wife isn't alone in the first days at least. You don't want to hear how she was found beaten black and blue by her ex-lover after you told everyone everything. Wish you all the best and hope that everything works out. I haven't given that a thought. It is definitely something I need to at least consider. I'm not interested in her getting physically hurt by any means. I'm arranging a meeting with my children, so I believe that will need to be a topic of discussion with them also. Thanks for pointing that out. Third update. Well, it's done. Yesterday, after she left with her best friend and 2 other lady friends on her shopping trip, I set everything in motion. It mostly went as planned. The moving guys were about 2 hours late, but that worked out okay. Most of my stuff I had packed slowly over the past weeks, and the bulk of the things to move were large items, mainly my office, desk, chair, bookcases, etc. Took about 2 hours to pack up and move the office stuff and store my workshop items. Earlier that morning, in a fit of pettiness, I took a hacksaw to my wedding band and cut it in 2. I placed it on top of the divorce papers and a copy of the evidence I had of her affair, minus anything about her best friend or anything from their texts. Closed the door and left. Met with 2 of my 3 children in person. The youngest could not make it but joined us via FaceTime. That was difficult. Telling your children something of this nature is hard no matter their age. There was a lot of crying. A lot of anger too. They asked the typical questions, "Are you sure? Can you work through this?" Again, it was tough. I told them who it was and that, given his history, they should probably be more aware of their surroundings, though I don't think it will come to anything violent, against them at least. I would not tell them where I'm staying yet. I explained I need some peace and quiet and that I did not want to put them in the position to lie to their mother. I explained if they needed to get up with me to contact their aunt. After some long hugs, I headed to my new house. I did call my wife's brother. He and I have more of a brother-type relationship than brother-in-law, so I felt I needed to update him. He wished me luck, and we made plans to get together later after things had settled down. I then phoned my sister and updated her, and then shut my phone down. I slept really hard last night. I believe the mental and physical exhaustion has finally caught up with me. Emotionally, I'm pretty even. No fits of anger or sorrow. I think relief is a good description of what I'm feeling right now. I can't update you on my soon-to-be ex-wife. I turned my phone on long enough to check on my kids and post this. There are a lot of missed calls and texts. I have not read any of them, though I can see the beginning of a few of them in preview on my notifications. Lots of "I'm sorry. Please call," and "Where are you?" texts. I plan on ignoring them. I'm not finished. I have others to notify. So I'll update then. That's all. Thanks again, everyone. Reading the top comments before the next update. In your first post you asked whether ghosting or confrontation should be your goal. With how things have developed now, are you satisfied with the option that you chose, to ghost? Wish you all the best, stay strong and stay firm. When will your wife return from the trip? Yes, I am. It has allowed me some time of clarity and peace. I do not recommend waiting as long as I did if possible. I needed to get some logistics handled, and I am glad I did, but I am just now realizing the stress it caused. Ghosting her is not something I can do forever. We have kids and, for privacy reasons I haven't divulged until now, we have grandkids. But I think continuing it as long as practical will be best. Fourth update. Other betrayed spouse has been notified. Monday I went into the office long enough to contact a messenger service. Barely missed my soon-to-be ex-wife who had come by looking for me. Anyway, I had a messenger take the evidence and a letter to the other betrayed spouse at her workplace. Made sure she signed for it. I then sent a text to soon-to-be ex-wife. The exchange went like this. Me, I have notified other betrayed spouse and gave her the same evidence I left you. There was about a 5-minute delay and she replied. Her, I am sorry you felt the need to do that but I understand. After no reply from me she then texted, does this mean we can talk? I shut my phone off. Anyway, the letter briefly described what was in the package, and I gave her an email to contact me by. A new Gmail. If she wanted. I did hear from her the next day. Just a thank you, and she would reach out if she decided she wanted to speak to me. Now why did I text my soon-to-be ex-wife? I felt she needed to know for safety reasons. I am sure one of my children would have done it for me, but I am not going to involve my children in this any more than they have to be. I still have not read any texts, emails, or voicemails from my soon-to-be ex-wife. I will someday, maybe, but I have left them all on read. I still need to notify best friend's husband, and then maybe I can let this play out on its own from here. Thanks for the posts and DMs. Your support has been generous and appreciated. I'm confused. You must be semi-close with the best friend's husband. He was at the bar with you the night you were attacked by a affair partner. This is a little confusing why you would not just call him. I hope you had more evidence than text messages between your wife and her best friend to send to the math teacher's wife. You had a pretty good game plan up until this point and this doesn't seem to make sense. You also had 7 months to get a new cell number instead of shutting off your cell and using some email for communication. I'm a little lost but hope you're hanging in there. Let me simplify it some. The best friend's husband is not necessarily a close friend, but we know each other through our wives. I'm not close enough to be privy to things that have happened in their marriage. He may already know or not. I will let him know, but at the time of my choosing, more to impact my soon-to-be ex-wife and keep her off balance about what I know and who was complicit.